again, this is not for people of my size. Like, this happens in all conferences, like something to think for future conferences, please. So I'm Nadia. I'm going to talk about MakerDAO governance, but especially my experience in the Growth Core Unit. So just like for a little bit of context for the ones who don't know, so MakerDAO used to be run by the Maker Foundation, but the Maker Foundation was created to bootstrap the community that in the future, I mean now, will manage the protocol. So after the foundation got dissolved, everyone in the community could propose a core unit. That's what we call like these groups of people that have a mandate and a budget associated to that mandate to be able to fulfill it. So I presented a proposal in the forum, and the community voted me in, so I could like provide these services of growth that includes ecosystem partnerships, BD, marketing, branding, and that kind of stuff to the protocol. So that's like the context. So this will be my experiences as a facilitator of the Growth Core Unit and the interaction that I have with other core units and the DAO in general. So how it started, as I said, it started as a proposal that became from some members of the community and the Maker Foundation, because the idea was, okay, we have a foundation that is a central entity that is helping to develop the protocol from different aspects. But we don't want that centralized point of failure, because that's what a company is. We want the community to run the protocol. So the community and the foundation, they created a framework to propose core units. That was last year when the core units started. And this is how it's going now, which is awesome. It's like if you want to see a DAO in action, you have to go to the MakerDAO forum, because it's crazy. Right now we are more than 20 core units. Each core unit has between 5 and 10 contributors. In average, I will say that it is about 8 contributors per core unit. Of course, you can find core units with 2 contributors, or core units with 15 contributors. I think that's the maximum of contributors that we have, but we really don't know because we are a DAO, and each core unit is completely independent, and they can decide how they want to run that group of people. So we have core units. Each core unit has a mandate, as I said, and a budget associated to that mandate, and we have delegates. Delegates was another thing that MakerDAO thought, okay, we need to do this. I think we did it after other protocols decided to go in that direction, and it took time for us, which was bad, but it was the solution that we found to increase the participation of maker holders, because as you all know, if you are involved in DAOs, holders, like they don't have the time to be committed to the development of a protocol. So what they do is, or what protocols are doing is they create a layer of delegates who represent the decision of maker holders. So now we have delegates and core units, which are contributors doing things for the protocol. So core units, what we are doing is helping to grow the protocol from different perspectives. There's a protocol engineering core unit. They are in charge of maintaining the protocol, the smart contracts, the core of the protocol. There's the risk core unit. They are constantly doing risk assessments to maintain the peg, to analyze the different collateral types, crypto collateral types to onboard in the protocol. There's the oracles core unit, which, well, they maintain the oracles. And also, we as Growth, we help the protocol to increase die demand and supply. This is just an example because, as I said, we are more than 20 core units, and each core unit has its own mandate, its own perspective on how to help the protocol, and then it's up to the delegates to decide and represent the maker holders' decision and accept or not the proposal to create a new core unit that will help to grow the protocol from a different perspective. This started as a good idea. If you're in a DAO and if you're thinking how to evolve your DAO, actually, like the 3 talks before mine, someone was saying that, oh, it's good to have like one layer of contributors and one layer of delegates, or I don't remember how he called it. This doesn't scale, and we are seeing the consequences of this model. It is good for the first months, maybe, but with more than 20 core units, it's crazy. Because just imagine yourself, we are a flat organization, because we are a DAO, like even inside the core unit, we don't have a clear hierarchy. So coordinate between all the core units, delegates, like it's crazy. It's very, very difficult. So this is the future, we think, because again, we are DAO, so no one really knows, because there's like no, like in a DAO, there's no one who can like say, okay guys, this is how we are going to do things, just build it, because we have to make that decision all together. It's a DAO. So this is, and this is also like interesting reading. If you have time, go to the forum, and Rune posted the endgame plan. And the idea of the endgame plan is to reduce the complexity of a DAO, because after the core unit model, we saw that doesn't scale, too much people, it's hard to coordinate, you have to trust in that people because you don't have a legal enforcement to make them do what they promise in their mandate. So it's all about trusting people, and that's not blockchain. Blockchain is about being permissionless and being able of not trusting people. So Rune's proposal is, okay, let's like try to go to the basic. Let's try to like keep it small, at least at the maker core, having a small protocol, the most permissionless possible, like everything managed by smart contracts. And after we have this small maker core, we can start building an ecosystem of MetaDAOs. That's the name he's using. So like these happy faces you see in the right, I think, are the MetaDAOs that will be creating products, services, communities that will be using the maker core, which will be small and completely permissionless, managed by smart contracts, and that's the dream. So this is in work in progress. We have, I think, we have a vision, but we need a plan. It has been like a long debate in the maker community because, of course, like this will be like a huge disruption to what we have been doing, because, I mean, it has been a year with core units development. Now we have over, I don't know, I think it's more than 100 people working for core units. So rethinking again the structure of how the DAO should be, well, it is a challenge. So again, if you're interested in DAOs, this is your opportunity, because it's like a very interesting conversation, and as in all DAOs, I think it's always good to have new people thinking about how to do this. So now I want to like go into what is the Growth Core Unit, what we do, and how we organize ourselves. I think this is interesting for everyone who is thinking about contributing in any DAO, because this is what I have learned about. Okay, I was part of the Maker Foundation. We used to do things in one way, which is the known way, because like anyone who has worked in a company, that is how the foundation used to work. But now we are in a DAO, and we have to like rethink a lot of the processes and structures and try to like think about new things of how to collaborate, present information, and how to be transparent. So first of all, and I think that's important for each contributor, is to set up a plan, to have a strategy. Okay, you want to do something for the DAO. What's that you're going to do? And this is interesting because every time you present a proposal in the forum, you have to convince the community that they need you first, and that you are capable of helping the protocol to grow in that aspect that you think you are good. So this is the plan of the Growth Core Unit. Remember that I told you that we want to help the protocol to grow in DAI demand and DAI supply. So this is how we envision the protocol. This is how we, from like a business development perspective and a branding perspective, we think we can help the protocol to grow. So I think this is not particular for the Growth Core Unit. I think all core units or any contributor in any DAO should have a strategy. Like, okay, this is my mission, and this is what I want to do to achieve that objective. After having a strategy, you need metrics. This is super important. And I've seen other core units struggling with the community because they don't have metrics. And without metrics, you don't know if you are doing the right thing. You don't know if you are like, if you have a plan, but if you are not following it with metrics, you don't know if you are doing it right, and you don't have enough information to explain to the community why you did the things the way you did it. So you always need metrics, internal metrics, to like understand, okay, if my strategy goes in this direction, then it has an impact this way in the protocol, and I'm really helping to grow, or not. I'm just like wasting money. And the wasting money part is something that we have to be conscious, because in the bull market, DAOs have like a lot of money and they don't care, but in the bear market, they are like trying to understand what's happening, how you're spending the money, and I think we should be accountable all the time, not just under like bear market circumstances, but all the time. So that's why metrics matter, and this should be how you guide everything. Then it's transparency, and this is something interesting because doesn't exist in a regular company. You don't think about, okay, how I'm going to tell everyone, like the consumers, the outsiders, what is my company doing? You don't think about that really. But in a core unit and in a DAO, it's super important, because you need to coordinate with other core units, and you need to show to delegates and maker holders what you're doing. So this is like a plan we have, how we can improve the way how we communicate to the community what we are doing. Because the problem with transparency is that at some point, if you want to be super transparent, you will have infinite amount of information, and that's useless. Like if you have a lot of information and if you don't have a good way to present it, no one will consume it. So we are constantly thinking, okay, what's the best way to present useful information to the community? So this is something we are creating, that instead of posting the information in the forum every week, every month, we could like maybe have a website with some dashboards that can give information to the community in an easy way. Maybe why not like thinking about a newsletter that we can just send every month to people who are interested to learn about what the Growth Core Unit is doing, and use these dashboards to explain what's the current situation, what we are doing, and what are the plans for the future. So this is just like a work in progress of how to increase transparency, but I think that it's important that if you're a contributor in a DAO, you always have to be thinking on how to improve the way you communicate, how you improve like your transparency levels, because that has to be a core value. And because transparency is a core value, you have to find the contributors that have like a mindset that goes along with the values of the protocol or the DAO or the community. For me, it's super important that contributors in my CoreUnit accept payments in DAI, because I mean, we are Maker. If you don't want DAI, like, it doesn't make sense. The incentives have to be aligned with the strategy. Like, DAOs and blockchain are all about incentives. It's important to think about that when you have contributors, when you have a DAO. You have to give them incentives, and you have to have a strategy aligned with that. Everyone in a DAO, they are contributors, not employees. And that's super important to understand the difference, because a contributor has like an attachment in a sentimental way to the protocol. That's super interesting, because I think that allows us to grow in a different way. Employees don't care. They are just there for the paycheck. Like, contributors care about the growth, like the really growth of the protocol, and they are passionate about what they do. Well, people have to be self-started, open-minded. They have to be like capable of change every time. They have to love to show what they're doing and post in the forum everything that they're doing and their ideas, and always be transparent. So this is interesting. It's not for everyone, but I think it's not just for Maker, but I think all DAOs have to like have a description of the people, the mindset that they want to have inside their contributors, and I think this could be aligned with a lot of the DAOs out there. So these are just like a couple of lessons that I've learned. Growth CoreUnit, I think this is, we created Growth CoreUnit last year in March, I think, so it has been a while as a CoreUnit. And well, first of all, coordination is a must, because you're in a DAO. But we also are working in an offline mode, and like DAO, Discord forum, Twitter. So sometimes we have to go to real life to like humanize the people that interact with us. That's important. We need to attract more diverse people and talented people. This is interesting, because Web 2 is looking at Web 3, and I think we need new ideas to help us to create this new DAO world. Scaling, well, you will scale. If you have success, you will scale, but scaling in a decentralized mindset is not efficient, because coordination becomes harder and you will spend a lot of money, because if you have this decentralized ethos inside your DAO and you have like different core units doing the same, that means you will have more people and you will spend more. And unfortunately, the burnout is there. DAOs, they don't have like an office hours, like you don't work from 9 to 6. We are working all the time because we are global. So that's good, that's super fun, but it also, it's dangerous. So you have to take care of your contributors. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the Maker Growth Twitter, the forum that if you're interested in DAOs, you should visit the forum. Yeah, thank you. Questions?
Hi, thank you very much for the presentation. I had one question regarding the team members, like that one slide where you described what the team members should kind of be like. How do you, in a DAO, how do you attract and identify these team members and these characteristics? How do you get them to join and not have like random people that actually don't really care, that are not contributors but employees?
Well, good question. We have core units. So each core unit attracts and hires the contributors they want. This is just like my policy. So the contributors that I want, first of all, I want them to be happy about receiving their monthly salary on DAI. And you will think, yeah, but that's normal in blockchain, but it's not. It's not, because this is like a full-time, more than full-time job. Because as I said, we are not working from 9 to 6. Like I mean, I'm surprised whenever I hear that there are people contributing to more than 2 or 3 DAOs. I'm like, well, how's that possible? Like, I don't have enough time for Maker. My team, people in the growth core unit, it's the same. Like, they are fully dedicated to Maker because we have a lot of things to do. So for them, it's their full-time job, and accepting a salary in DAI, it's interesting because I mean, maybe this is more difficult for other DAOs because for Maker, it's unique. Maker is generating DAI, so it creates an attachment to the protocol, to the product. And that's interesting. Like, it makes you to understand what you're doing. It makes you to value what you're doing. It makes you like to create that network that's necessary so you can like pay for your coffee, pay for your rent, pay for like your everyday things because that's your salary. So I think that creates a special commitment. And also I always encourage people not just like to do what they're supposed to do, but be involved in the community. So what we call contributor is like someone who is paid by the DAO, but I think you have to be a contributor and a community member. So you have to have opinions, you have to have a voice. We also give compensations in MKR, which I think like gives you like another vision because you are also like a Maker holder. So you are interested about governance, you can vote, you can delegate. So it's like it's completely different what you can do in a company. And I think that people knows about that. And yeah, like the contributors that I have, they want to work for Maker because of that. Then like the other is like, they really, yes, of course, like if they are good in marketing, they want to work with us, but it's mainly not because they are good in marketing, but because they care about Maker and they are attracted to the fact that while being a contributor, they can help to grow the protocol, which is incredible. Okay, thank you.